I'm going to have Melanie, if you would switch over, and we're going to start with the Android application first. And just for the sake of your guys' time, this really shouldn't take maybe 10 or 15 minutes tops to get through both platforms. It's not going to be quite the experience that you had if you guys sat in on the desktop webinar, simply because there's things I'm doing on the phone that you're not actually going to be able to see what I'm doing because I'm clicking. You can't obviously see my thumbs. That I'll try to do my best to explain along the way what actions or gestures I am using to accomplish the things that you're going to see take place on the screen. So Melanie, if you would go ahead and give me permission to share my Android phone.
All right, you should be good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Melanie, you let me know. You see me on your side. All right, let me get over to the mobile app real quick. Get logged out so that you guys can see what the login screen looks like. So on the login screen, you're going to use the same credentials that you guys use for your desktop application. Same username, same password, same server address. So just like on the desktop version, if you make sure that you click the save password, you'll never have to enter this information again. We're going to go ahead and hit login. You're going to be presented with a couple of prompts here. The first one being, do you want to allow the mobile app to have access to your contacts? Just understand that's completely up to you whether or not you do that. What you need to be aware of is if you give it access, when you go to the contacts inside the mobile app, you're going to be looking at the contacts on the phone system, plus every single contact that you had in your personal contacts on your cell phone. So most people have a lot of contacts on their cell phone. Just be aware that you're going to be scrolling for a long time. So I always personally deny that because I only use the mobile app to communicate to people in the office or business contacts that I already have saved in the application. And then you can just deny through the other prompts that come up after that. So I want to jump into settings right away and talk about a couple of technical things that need to be verified when you download the application. And to download the application, you just go to either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. It is a free download. Anybody can download the application. It is a license-based application on the phone system, so only the number of licenses that are activated on the phone system are the number of people that can be logged in and using the application at any given point in time. It is a session-based license. That means that if you have 50 users on the phone system, all 50 people can have the mobile app downloaded, and as long as all 50 people are given permission to use it, but you only have 10 mobile licenses on the phone system, only 10 of those 50 people can be logged in at any given point in time. So with that out of the way, and you go to your settings on the Android, which is at the top right hand side, the little gear icon. The first thing you need to do at the top where it says bound phone, you need to type in your cell phone number, including the area code. And the next thing that you need to check down here, you will notice the use soft phone over Wi-Fi and the use soft phone over mobile data. Both of those should be turned on by default. The next thing that you need to check right beneath that is the mode option. If I click on mode, make sure that your mode is set to local. That is a default setting. It's just something to make sure that it didn't get changed. And then if you click on the advanced options, you want to look down here and make sure we are set to where it says SIP transport, which is the 5th item down from the top. You want to make sure that is set to TCP. As long as those options are set, the mobile app should function just fine. If you encounter any issues where your mobile app might be dropping calls, or you experience what we call one-way audio, they can hear you, but you can't hear them, or vice versa, you do want to go in here and you want to turn off the used soft phone over Wi-Fi and used soft phone over mobile data. Turn those options off. This isn't an issue with the software application itself, but there are issues with cell providers out there in the area because they cannot write this application to accommodate every cell provider out there with AT&T and Verizon and Cricket and whoever else in the world, T-Mobile, that you may be using. We found that the application has been adjusted so that it's far more friendly across all mobile provider platforms, and we haven't encountered any issues, but that is just something to keep in mind. So across the top, you'll have all of your icons, and all I'm doing is, for gesture here, is scrolling, putting my finger on the screen and scrolling from right to left. All right, so if we just look at our buddies list, this is the same buddies list that you're going to have working on your desktop application. And the way I interact with these users, if I wanted to call Adam, I can just click on the blue phone icon next to his name. By default, that's going to pull up my message history with Adam. And I can instant messages from this platform just like I can from the desktop application. Works exactly the same way. If I want to see other contact information that I have for Adam, I'm just going to click on his icon and I'm going to hold down, and it'll open up this pop-out window, and it'll show me his extension number, his cell phone number. Then I can choose to chat with him from here as well. I can remove him from my buddies list, or I can click on additional info, and that'll pull up Adam's profile picture and all of his additional contact information. All right, I've got a recent list, just like I do inside the desktop application. I can click on the drop-down box, and I can look at just incoming calls, missed phone calls, outgoing calls, or look at just messages. And then I can come over here and click on the dial pad. Pretty self-explanatory what this is for. One thing I do want to let you know, that if you make an outbound phone call from the dial pad or the software application, it does transmit the caller ID information to the phone system from your business. It will not send your cell phone number. That's one of the nice things about this application. It allows you to keep your personal cell phone and use it for business, but when you need to disconnect, you can disconnect and still have your personal cell phone. I can come over to my contacts, and the difference between contacts and buddies, for those of you that may be new to the Zultys platform completely, your buddies list is just who are the personal people on your phone system that you're going to communicate with on a daily basis. It could be everybody. It could be one person, 10 people, 15 people. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. Your contact list is every single extension on the phone system. All right, I can go to groups. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with groups, what a group is inside the new Zultys platform is a true collaborative group on the phone system. So for those of you that may still be using Mixi or are familiar with Mixi, Mixi was just a one-way form of communication. So if I created a group in Mixi and I send out an instant message to the group, everybody saw my comment, but I'm the only one that saw their replies. Groups now is collaboration. So everybody sees everybody's comment inside of these groups. All right, for those of you that are familiar with parked phone calls, it's a way that we globally put a phone call on hold on the phone system. So just like from the desktop application, I can park phone calls and I can retrieve parked phone calls directly from the mobile application.
Oh, Tim, looks like we have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there a difference in the messages on your mobile app versus Zach on your desktop? There's a message I'm seeing on the mobile app that I'm not seeing in Zach.
That would have to be something that I would have to look into. The messages should be the same across both platforms. So if you want to, whoever asked that question, if you want to just send that question back in with your name and a phone number, I can follow up with you after this meeting. Fair enough. All right, you can check your voicemail messages from the mobile app as well. It's visual voicemail. It looks and you interact with it the same way that you do on the desktop application. And then if any of you are using the inbound or onboard fax server, you can fax from the mobile app just like you can from the desktop app. Obviously, that's not going to be as convenient because you don't always have the files that you might want to fax available to you from your mobile phone, but you can do it if you want to. Any questions? And one thing I failed to mention, which is typically the most important, right up top where my name is, this is where we go and change our status and presence information, just like we do on the desktop application. And I can type in a call note. I'll demo. I'll hit enter, change my status to not available. There's my status change, and that will update immediately, even on people's desktop applications in the office. There's no delay in that whatsoever.
Okay, Tim, it looks like we have a couple questions that will be coming in, so hang tight one moment.
Sure.
Is there additional cost to access the mobile app?
Every phone system that you have or that we've deployed has at least one, if not two, mobile apps on it already. Zultys went through a pretty significant licensing reconfiguration, re-engineering, whatever you want to call it, about a year ago. So if any of you that have had a phone system installed within the past 12 months, every user on your system has access to the mobile app. What we have to do is turn it on inside of the user profiles. If it's something that you've never used before, we just need to set up a user profile so that the people that we assign to that profile have access to use the mobile app. And if any of you want to know for sure, what you have, just shoot us an email or a message with the name of your company, and I'll be happy to look that information up and get it back to you and let you know specifically how many licenses are on your system.
Sounds great. And then it looks like the other question is really just more of a contact. If you could reach out to Charles Kelly after the webinar sometime today.
Okay.
So I think if there are no more questions with the Android interface, we're going to go ahead and move to the Apple. And Tim, you should, once you stop sharing on the Android, you should be able to start sharing on the Apple.
Let me get there. I'm stopped. All right. Should see the Apple screen now. You good on your side, Melanie?
Yes, looks good.
Okay. So on the Apple, it's going to look a little different, and pardon me if I'm stumbling a little bit because I'm not an iPhone user. So what comes up, this is your default screen. One thing you'll notice immediately that's different, your icons are at the bottom, not the top. All right, another thing that you notice, I cannot click on an icon and pull up a pop-up screen. So what I'm doing inside of the iPhone, I'm using the finger gesture, swiping from right to left on a contact name, and it opens up. The little star that you see is how I add or remove someone from my buddies list. Or I can click on the little info icon here, and this is how I'm going to access all of my additional contact information on Mark. All right, I can remove him from buddies options. You'll see the other options down there: recent files, recent history, or clear history. So recent files would be any files that I've shared with the user across the IM platform. I can look at those. And then I'm just using the back arrow at the top left-hand side. All right, by default, if I click on Mark's name, the default is the instant message that you see pop up here, and it works just like the instant message does on your desktop application, or just like on an Android phone. You got a place to type a message, hit the send button, or the little, it looks like a little airplane, paper airplane over here on the right hand side to send that message. If you have any local contacts saved, they're going to show up here on the top right hand side under local contacts. Down here at the bottom, I'm clicking on the recent icon, so that will take me to all recent phone calls, instant messages, or I can look at just phone calls or just messages. Again, clicking at the bottom on the groups icon, this is my groups, just like you saw in the Android application. It functions the same way as it does on the desktop application. Clicking on the voicemail option. Okay. Here's my list of voicemail messages. And then if I click on the More button, this is where we're going to have to go to access parked phone calls. Okay. Or if I go into settings. All right, so talking about the settings on the iPhone, they're the exact same considerations that you have to take into place, just like we did on the Android phone. So if I look at, I have enable soft phone and use over mobile data. They're named a little differently. They mean the exact same thing. The default is they're turned on. All right, it tells you that your mode here is set to local already. And then if I go into advanced, just like we did on the Android phone, you can see SIP transport is the third one down, and it's set to TCP. So those are the same things that you need to check on the iPhone, just like you had to do on the Android. Other than that, the overarching comment that I'll make on the mobile app, whether it be Android or iPhone, greater than 90% of everything that you can do on the desktop, you can do on the mobile phone. The biggest things that you can't do, you're a little limited on being able to set call handling rules from the mobile app. And there's obviously some drag and drop features that you can't do on the mobile app that you can do on the desktop app. Other than that, your basic functions, if you need to make a call, take a call, put a call on park, retrieve a call on park, put a call on hold, access your voicemail, transfer a phone call, all of that's fully functional from the mobile app, just like it is from the desktop app. So you can be just as connected driving down the road as you can in the office. Up at the top right beneath Christy's name, again, my status and presence information. Type a note. This is where I type the call note. Select my status. Hit the done button on the bottom right hand side. Questions, comments?
I'm not seeing any come in. I think we might be good.
Okay, and just as a reminder, anybody that wants to know exactly what's out there on your system as far as licensing availability, just shoot us an email, and I'll look into that. I'll get that information back to you today before the end of business.
All right. Thank you, Tim. And as I said earlier, the recording of this will be available if you guys want to check our website and social channels, and especially your inbox. I'll be sending out a link with the replay available. In addition, we'd love to hear feedback, how we did today, and any other training sessions you would like to see in the future. We are open and we are here to be your partner. So thank you guys for your time today, and hope you have a great one.
Thanks, everybody.